Hi Scorpio, welcome to your September 2018 general tarot reading. I was like, okay, where am I? What am I doing here? So this is a general tarot reading for the month of September. I'm using the Morgan Greer deck, which is my usual go-to deck. I usually just put little piles because it's easier for me. I shuffle just very in a very crude fashion. Oh, look at this. We got 2 swords already. Things that make you go, Here's another swords. Interesting. All right. The one major arcana card we have here is the Strength card, which is connected to Leo, if that means anything to you. So, the heart of the matter is connected to the Page of Swords, and this is a card of, I think, I call this a spy card, where it's like the person may be suspicious about something and is kind of doing their own legwork. So an example would be that you are in a job and all of a sudden you notice that the people around you start to act weird, and you sense that something's up. You sense that there is some shift that has been occurring, but you can't put your finger on it. And maybe you even ask, and they, people just pretend that nothing's wrong, that you're crazy or something like that. And these kinds of behaviors are done so that people can kind of get away with things, by gaslighting you and saying, oh, you're crazy. But and especially since you are a Scorpio, you know when something is up. So you might be like, you might not know exactly what it is, but you know it's something. And that could be bothering you. That could be like making you feel unsettled. Swords relate to air signs. So this could be perhaps an air sign individual, which is the 3 air signs are Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Now, pages can be new beginnings, so there could be something along the lines of some kind of communication with one of these people. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic either. There's something else I was going to say. Well, I was going to say that pages can be children. So if, September is a month of going back to school. So there could be some kind of school issues with a child, learning issues. In the reverse, this card is learning disabilities, but maybe you need to get more tutoring for your child or something like that. So their learning is on your mind. That's always a possibility. The base or the foundation of this reading, which could prove to be the past, is the Knight of Swords. So again, this could be the person in question. And the Knight of Swords does have fiery energy. So in addition to those swords that I mentioned, think about Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and a mixture of the air and the fire. And that, so if I had to pick any area of your life, I would say your love life. I would say this could be a person who you've been dealing with who is very blunt in speech, and you've been dealing with them, but you sense that there's more to the story, because we have here in the challenge position the 7 of Wands. So this person, in the way that they have dealt with you, might have been kind of disrespectful or accusatory, And you, being a consummate chess player yourself, Scorpio, you're the kind of person that you don't take things at face value. So if somebody all of a sudden is starting to accuse you of certain things that you're not doing, you might think that perhaps they are doing the dirt and that they are using that as a projection to make you seem like the guilty party so that they can either, cover their tracks, or so that they can kind of get rid of any guilt that they feel. They can kind of just blame you for something that they're doing. And you might actually know this, because I think that Scorpio can do that sometimes. Not, Scorpio isn't necessarily, I wouldn't call Scorpio an unfaithful sign, but every sign can be unfaithful, and Scorpio can certainly be suspicious of their partner's motives and be like unwilling to be in a relationship with them because they're afraid of, or not that you're unwilling to be in a relationship, but you might feel this desire just to keep your distance, or not to believe that the other person really has your best interests at heart. Because this is one of the ways that Scorpio kind of sabotages themselves in relationships, by being overly suspicious. And again, whether it's a projection of guilt or whether it's just a projection of fear of abandonment, it doesn't really matter, because the end result can be a negative situation. The higher message is the Strength card. And, well, one thing I want to say, though, is if this is a workplace situation, one of the things that may have happened is that you have felt like you're on the defensive recently, and that has made you worried about whether or not they're trying to make a case to get rid of you or something like that. Again, these are things that would have already been in the works. This is not something that just comes out of nowhere, is my feeling, because it's kind of like it seems to me like some kind of a dynamic that is present in this relationship that could involve even more than two people, especially if it's a workplace situation. But the common link is this Knight of Swords person. Could be a co-worker or a middle manager or something like that. And that person may want your job, or they want you out of the way because they perceive you as a threat to them, taking the highest job. Maybe you're kind of almost on par with them or something along those lines, and they don't want to have you in the picture at all. With the Strength card, this is a spiritual message, so it's more of an attitudinal thing. I think that it's reminding you of other times in your life where you had to kind of really marshal your forces and believe in yourself and not feel a sense of lack of confidence or lack of self-doubt that you were going to make it. And you are somebody who has this innately. Maybe somebody, when I see this card, somebody may have tried to throw you off of your game and try to make you out to be less than or something along those lines. And most Scorpios won't take the bait, but you still may feel stressed out about it. You may feel like, and it's more of an emotional letdown where you maybe trusted somebody who has betrayed you, and so that is where the toll, the emotional toll, is coming from, is that sense of betrayal. And it's all about making sure, and this is also the case too, is that it's also making sure that you keep up your strength. This can even be the immune system. You will find that people get colds even when it has to do with stress. I mean, something emotionally wrenching taking place and then somebody getting sick. Even as simple as a cold, because they were so like put through the emotional ringer, so to speak. And so this can feel very uncomfortable if you have been somebody who has felt that a person was your friend, somebody that you could count on. And this could be in the workplace. And when I say friend, even a partner, you may have thought that they were your best friend and they did something that betrayed you and maybe even lied to your face and made you question yourself. The practical advice is the Four of Pentacles. So this is holding on to your money. Maybe, this is something that a lot of Scorpios do naturally, but just being on top of it and kind of preparing for needing that financial security. If this is the ending of a relationship or the ending of a job, where you're not just maybe even sure you can progress into a new situation. You might just be saying to yourself, I don't know if I want to pursue this anymore, because it may not be about losing a job. Maybe it's about a promotion that you had been counting on. And with the Page of Swords, you uncover that somebody who maybe doesn't have the seniority that you did kind of snuck in through the back door and became buddy-buddy with the boss, and you were left out in the cold. Of course, these kind of things happen, don't they? The Four of Pentacles can also be saying that you have more than enough money that you don't have to subject yourself to this. And so you may be thinking in your mind, I'm forced to stay here. And you may have a very lack consciousness right now where you cannot see yourself as being in a really good position. But this Four of Pentacles could be saying you are in a good position, or it could be saying get in a more financially get more financially in control and be very proactive when it comes to your money situation. What is coming in is represented by the Queen of Swords. I think that Scorpios are going to just do what needs to be done. And you're not going to allow nostalgia or fear to sway you. I think that your mind is made up. Maybe you have been kind of on the fence about something and you've allowed sympathy or the fond memories of the past to kind of inform your decision. And now you're just like totally in your own world and you're ready to just move on with your life. And there's like this sense of resoluteness, because when you have the Queen of Swords, the emotions are still there. They're not like totally gone. But maybe your intuition is guiding your decisions, and it's not, intuition isn't, emotions per se. But the Queen certainly can represent both. They can represent psychic insights as well as just the emotional side, the yin feeling side of life. And you may be quite on top of things where you're able to feel. It's not like you're trying to, destroy your feelings, and you are a water sign, so there's no getting around your feelings, Scorpio. Unless you have a Mercury in Libra, which is right next to you, you may be much more like this on a regular basis, where you have the water and the feminine and the masculine together. And so it's easier for you to be detached. But for the rest of you, you're going to be more detached. And that is what is so great. The outcome is the Two of Cups. Now this is interesting because this is a card of reuniting with someone. So one thing that I didn't give as a scenario, because this is really, if this is you, I mean, that's wonderful. It could be a scenario where maybe through Facebook, I was going to say a little Facebook stalking. You know, I don't like to make light of the word stalking, but you know what I mean. In a non-psycho kind of a way, where you just happened upon an old flame's Facebook page, and it might have even been quite an accident that you were even able to locate them. Like for a man towards a woman, you might have found her married name. Maybe she was, you know, posting under her married name, and she's recently divorced, and now she's using her maiden name, and that was how you were able to locate her. But what have you, something along those lines, and you find this guy. And that would be like I said, it could be either a fire sign or an air sign typically. And perhaps this person is your current partner. If they are a Leo, that's a big one, or an Aries or Sagittarius, and you're getting out of that situation, but it still is in your life to some degree. So in that case, the Two of Cups could be you reuniting with this person, and maybe this is the person you feel like was the one that got away. And for others of you, this could even be simply forgiving and forgetting. I mean, not forgetting, but being able to forgive somebody for their indiscretions because you're ready to move on. You're not really interested in clinging to this relationship anymore. You've probably, in that situation, you've had enough. And even in a work situation, forgiving. Sometimes with a work situation, you might decide to partner up with somebody in terms of a new business, and you're going to go into it together. And so that's good. Now, the Two of Cups can be about taking the relationship to the next level, and this could be like committing. It's being asked for your hand in marriage and saying yes, or something along those lines. So I just want to throw in that one. If any of, you know, I've kind of gone through a certain scenario. Can't go through them all. This is a general reading, but wanted to give you that possible interpretation for the last card. Okay, Scorpio. Wow. Interesting situation here. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, you know where to look. It's right below this video. RainandMoonAstrology.com. Have a wonderful September. Bye.